I'll come back to you later, Mr. Twitter. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Let me get myself together here. I want to get myself together here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely, 1, 2. Sincerely thanking everyone. Let me check my mic real quick. Give me a moment, please. Let me check my audio. Mic check 1. Yeah, we good to go. We good to go. Yeah, we got some issues all over the place today. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Listen, this is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina. I'm having issues like all of a sudden with my streaming on my Facebook page at Jamil Salib Zamir. I'm having issues streaming at the Music Man. So I think the only page that's live right now on Facebook is the 19 report, and it looks like we might be back up. I'm not sure, but we are broadcasting live on YouTube, also on Linked. Then we're broadcasting live on Instagram. So I thank everyone for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir. This is Community Candid. For those of you who know, I usually do community talk probably once a month. I want to do it more, but it's very difficult to get anyone to help me do this stuff, and it's very difficult. But I would like to do more of it. But you just have to deal with people who are able to assist you in a way that makes the show more interesting. So yeah, we're going through some things technically right now, but that's cool. I think it'll record. Um, God is the greatest on this. I got to keep going. I'm gonna keep going. So we are jumping on and off on Facebook, but we're live on some other streams. So I thank you all for tuning in. I want to put this out first. I'm planning, by God's permission, to do um, a 50th hip hop anniversary event. I'm planning to do that, and once I get 5 people on board with that, I want to go ahead and do it. But the way I want to do it, by God's permission, is that I want to make it to where we're paying homage and respect to the local hip hop scene in Manning, South Carolina, in particular. So we're talking about Floyd Blackwell, Wayne Blackwell, Greg Martin, David Baxter, Kevin Thames. We're talking about Leonos Mighty Blazers, Eminem Productions, The Midnight Rapper, Ron Clavon and his wife, Ed Aiken, myself, Tyrone Thames, Chill Will TNT, Willie Conyers works at Walmart. He was our DJ. Chill Will TNT. Um, a lot of other groups that were out there. I want to get all of those in a collective, and if we can get that together, then we can start putting together this hip hop honoring the 50th year of hip hop. Of course, Spig, and then we have Buffy from the Fat Boys, all from Manning. You know, not from Manning, but resided here for some period of time. We want to have all of those here with us as well. So I wanted to be an event where the artists get to perform. I want at least 3, 4 DJs on the scene, and I want everyone to dress, in the old hip hop style. I can visualize it, so that's what I want, and I know by God's permission we can make it happen. I know that. All we got to do is get together and make it happen. So to anyone on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube who remember some of the people from Manning in particular, who used to do hip hop and other hip hop or R&B or any of those things from back in the day, hit me up and we're gonna go ahead and start putting this thing together. So I thank you all for tuning in. We are 4 minutes in. This is Community Candid with Jamil Salib Zamir. I hope I'm not talking too loud again. My service is jumping off and on. I don't really know what it is, but I hope that I'm recording so that I can at least upload this um, later on. So I want to talk about a few things really quickly. Then we're gonna shut off. But this has been bothering me so much that I had to talk about it, but it terrifies me to talk about it because now I'm walking into a book that I wrote in 1989, started in 89 after Hurricane Hugo. A lot of things unfolded during that period of time, and I wrote it in a book. And I'm starting to see those things unfold. And I'm realizing now, by God's permission, that my purpose is, was, and is to talk about those things, because I thought that the book would have been really a best-selling book. That's what I thought. I thought that's why I was being told to write the book. The book did okay on Amazon. The company that I went through to publish the book, Vanguard Publishing, are now defunct, but they stole all my publishing rights for the book. So I didn't get to see a dime off of the book, but I still owe the author the rights to the book, but I don't get any money from the book. So it's still on Amazon now. You can look under on it's three parts to the book. It's entitled Few, subtitle Many Claim Call, but Few Are Chosen. So what I'm talking about today is coming out of that. So I want to touch on a few subjects today if we can, and then we're going to be done. But this is the start of something that I have to do. So I want to go right into the subject matter. You see, I said it talked about the what I want to do with the hip hop festival. Yeah, I want to go into Maui for a minute. If you don't know what's happened in Maui, um, they're estimating that over 300 people have died due to the fires in Maui. But some strange things occurred in Maui that we're not paying attention to, but I think we should pay attention to it. First of all, the if you look at the fire in Maui, it was burning like in a circle, like it was a contained fire that burned in a specific area. A lot of the trees in Maui did not burn, but the cars burned to the point where they were melting on the road. And one of the major things that I want us to pay attention to, I'm talking about gentrification right now. That's the subject matter. Gentrification and the level that the elite will go in order to procure or take land. I think I used that word correctly. In order to take land from poor people so that they can develop it for rich people. In a case like that, life doesn't matter. And I don't know if you know about the 100-year plan that the elite put into place, but they plan things 100 years, 200 years in advance. And they keep that process going until the final results are manifested. Once it gets to a certain point, there's nothing you can do about it. When I was living across town, that's why I posted those pictures up about across town in Manning, South Carolina. Uh, they had a club called Tim Shop. Then they had Austin Simon on the corner, Tim Shop. Then they had the Go Go Club, I think, and then they had the Four Aces. I think Dowdy had a shop too, but Tim Shop was the main spot. My house was here. Monkey Dog House was right there, and then Tim Shop was right there. So from Thursday till Sunday, music, music, music all the time, and it was a dump. It wasn't a fancy place. It was a hole in the wall. But that's where I never, oddly enough, I never partied at that club. But that's where people congregated, and that's where they partied. A lot of death there, a lot of violence, a lot of families broken up there. I'm coming to a point. One, I mean, the music didn't bother me anything. I'm young. The people down below didn't necessarily bother me, but the people, I had it upstairs. My bedroom was upstairs, and then the kitchen and the living room were downstairs. At some point, uh, Floridians began to come into crosstown. And though I don't know if they were Zopound or what gang they were a part of, but they came with weapons and they came bringing disease, and they came bringing potent, very strong drugs, crack. A lot of people got involved in the crack trade across town from Manning, and a lot of people did a lot of time in excess, maybe 10 to 15 years prison time, because the crack was new. So the crack was being sold and the money was piling up. Those guys and girls from Florida, they were like termites. Their purpose is to find a small town, naive people, and then impress that town with what they're able to provide. Where I lived across town, there was Good Blood shop. I was living in Good Blood's building because Derek Mack moved out so that my family could move in. The Florida boys, they set up shop at Good Blood shop, for those of you who didn't know it. They would slide Good Blood a little bit of money. They kept the place clean. They swept out front. When they saw me, they realized that they had to buy me too. So I came out of my home across town. A couple of them approached me. Hey, we see you cut hair. Listen, we'll provide everything for you. We'll buy you your clippers. We'll buy you anything you need. We got you. Just, you don't call the cops on us. We out front, blah, blah. I told them straight to their face, listen, I don't want nothing to do with your blood money. I'm trying to raise my family here, and I don't want that type of aggravation around me with drugs and stuff. I feel you. I feel you. They respected that for the moment. It got out of hand at Good Blood shop. I asked them to move down the block. That's when they moved. They showed me respect and they moved. They moved to Tim's shop, like right between Tim's shop. There was a tree across the street from Tim's shop where everybody would hide their drugs. How you know all of this, Jamil? Because I was in the streets, but not of the streets. But I understood it because most people came to me. One gentleman came on leave every weekend doing 10 years in prison and asked me to sell drugs for him because I was the only person that he could trust. I held a lot of trust because my word was my bond. So when I asked the Florida boys to move, they moved. I'm coming to a point. The violence got worse. All of the women who were attracted to the crosstown dudes started sleeping with the Florida guys. I mean, all up under them. Most of them either died from AIDS, HIV, or contracted the disease and are still living with it, or dodged a bullet, but they have some type form of sexual transmitted disease. One night, I'm asleep, deep sleep. I see it's like a vision of crosstown. I see the tree that everybody used to stand. If you lived across town, you know the tree I'm talking about. That everybody would stash their drugs. There was a hollow spot in the tree. The cops come, they put them in the tree. That night I saw the tree, but nobody was under the tree. Nobody was across town. And Allah was telling me in that dream, there will come a time when there will be no one over here. Now remember, the streets were lined all the way from one block to the next with cars that partied from Thursday to Friday to Saturday. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to call no names, but I'm coming to a point. Talking about Maui, I'm talking about community Candid and what's happening. There's a strategic system set up. When someone has their eye on a particular piece of property, a particular piece of land, the method of controlling that land or getting that land is first to bring down the property value of the land. Anybody who is doing something in that community that can benefit bringing down the property value, that's where the exploitation comes in. So you know all of the young black men, white men, black women that got caught up in the stings and the drug bust cross town doing 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Some of them still in prison. But check this out. After that vision, I saw things start to unfold. I saw a white lady with long hair and her husband. They were jogging across town. I didn't know if it was her husband or not. They were running across town. I'm sitting on the stoop in front of Good Blood. And I'm like, as rough as it is over here, why are they so comfortable running through here? And God tapped my shoulder again. They scoping out the place. Nobody sees this but me. The more I'm talking, the more crazy people think I am. They about to gentrify. They're gonna take this land. They're gonna take this place. Then the drug raid started. The drug bust started. The police came knocking on my door one day. We got him, Mr. Wilson. We got him. I pulled him to the side. I'm like, what are you doing? I live over. Why are you telling me you got him? What are you trying to? You put me in a bad position. Because those of you who lived over there, you know I never called the police on you. You know that wasn't my thing. I talked to you. I talked to big time guys to their face. Would you move? I'm trying to raise my family over here. Then the incident happened with the shooting over there. With I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want anyone saying that I'm bringing up bad things. But a lot of people died that day. I'm speeding up the process. First, we moved down to a lot of people died that day. Yeah, and that was the beginning of the end. The property value plummeted. So now all of these homes and stuff that we never owned, even the projects over there. I can't even remember. I can't even remember the name of the place. They changed it. Jamel Pringle used to be the guard, the keeper over there. My buddy. Everybody started moving away. All of the property value went down. I think Slick bought most of it. I don't know if Hayes Samuels bought any, but Slick bought most of it, tore down old houses, built brick houses and everything like that. Gentrified the community. I think the only person that owns a piece of the property from over there that's original from our day is Boozy Boo. And I'm proud of him for holding on to it. Rather he keeps it or sells it, he got it. But where I lived, I wanted to buy that property. I could never get my hands on the property. I think he's the president over USC. What is his name? Herc Conyers bought the property. I don't know whether he ever lived over there or not, but the minute he bought it, he tore down the building. Then somebody bought the old Tim Shop, tore it down. Then Austin Simon tore it down. So the whole history is gone, and somebody else literally owns that. That's gentrification. In Maui, they're saying that the property there was worth $1 trillion, but because of the burnout, now it will be 4 times worth that. But in Maui, where this fire occurred, there are at least 100 celebrities who lived there, and none of their houses were touched by the fire. You see Oprah Winfrey all up in the mix now. She got a house there too. We went to Jamaica after the hurricane in Jamaica some years ago, and they were pleading with America to help them rebuild. America refused. They went to the Queen of England, and she helped them rebuild. But Michael Jordan got an island there. Tom Cruise owns a hotel. Looks like if you buy one side of the street, you own the other side. I'm making a point. I'm talking about what's happening in society. And then I'm going to talk about what's happening in Sugar Hill because y'all don't see it. But it happens that same way. And God showed me that. So now the elite are after Maui. They want to build condos and stuff and push the poor people. They won't even let aid come into Maui yet. Same thing happened across town. I did a video about it called I Remember. I remember sitting on the stoop in front of Good Blood shop when I heard that Dada got shot. I was living upstairs in the back near the vacant lot where the hustlers used to frequent a lot. You can catch the video on YouTube. It's a true story. It's called True Story. That's what it's called. But I was talking about how they methodically plan to gentrify and bring the value down, and then buy it for a low price, then take it. They're about to do that in my life. Does not matter. Life does not matter to people who want to take something from you. But they don't just shoot and kill for no reason. They take life to accumulate more wealth and power. Cities over America, the toll booths and everything else are being sold to Russia and China. They got stake in America. Manning, South Carolina is being so. I don't even think I don't think the city owns the courthouse. I think somebody bought it and we got to rent it. This community candid with Jamil Salib Jamil. I'm coming to a point. We're 22 minutes in. Let me finish this up. I was given in that same book, Few, is three parts to the book. I was given a vision where it's a whole scenario that unfolded, but the numbers that stood out to me was 261 in the vision, because we were on Highway 261 when everything occurred. It was me and two other people. They can verify it. I'm beginning to realize that Highway 261 is like a corridor that connects Myrtle Beach, Manning, Columbia, it's a main highway. By the way, did y'all know that Myrtle Beach and Manning have a contract where, if necessary, Myrtle Beach police will come here and they will go there? This is not secret. I go to county council and town hall meetings. You'll learn this stuff. Sugar Hill, mainly because it's just great property, but lately Sugar Hill has been getting a lot of attention because of things we did. Go out and clean it, keep it nice. People have their eyes on Sugar Hill. And a little bit at a time, you see different faces buying these little homes, but buying a lot of land and just dropping a little trailer on it. A little at a time. People who are being paid to do the wrong thing so they can put more money in their pocket. And one of the methods, and I read it in a book, Lord have mercy, I'm gonna have to post a book up, that whites would use back in the day. If a black person moved in their neighborhood, they would use a method where they would take the property around the black person's home. If they wanted to take the property, they would move people in who were just noisy and nasty. And those people would bring all broken down cars and junk and just bring down your property value. Loud music, parties, whatever they can do. If you didn't fight back by God's permission, if you didn't know how to, they would bring your value down, and then they would purchase your property right from under you. I'm talking about what's happening. I'm talking about gentrification. I'm talking about politics and politicians. I'm talking about the wicked system that we are under, that we're not paying attention to because we're too busy having a good time. This book was written over 25 years ago, and now I got to go into the book because everything is being made manifest. I've saw things about the Weldon Auditorium. We're going to talk about that one day whenever God says so. But today, yeah. And then the people, the way they did it across town, those Floridians, they found the people who love drugs. And they found the old folks who love drugs and liquor. And they provided those things to them and made them loyal to them more than they were loyal to the community. They destroyed our community and we allowed it. Are y'all understanding me? All of the tough guys, all of them wanted a piece of the money. So whether you know it or not, take a close look on Sugar Hill. Floridians are moving into Sugar Hill. People who have, and they're scouting the neighborhood asking, who own this land? Who own this land? Y'all want to sell it? Y'all want to sell it? And they find the people who love to party, who sell drugs, and who love to do drugs. And they befriend them. Because the job is to destroy the property value. And the plan is a 100-year plan. You think I'm a nut from what I'm saying. But God showed it to me. The fire stretched from down there at that store all the way across Sugar Hill because there's so much dirt. There's so much things we're hiding. You don't have to tell the world, but you won't even confess to it. And the ultimate aim is to make us disenchanted, stop taking care of our homes, and they will buy them right out from under us. There's way more to it than this that God gave me, but there's no need to tell you because it's going to be hard for you to process this. But take this, let me mark this off. The intentions are to get the old, get them drunk and high. Because when the elders no longer fight, the young don't know what to do because they have no guidance. Let me read something to you real quick so you won't think I'm a nut. Uh, the headline is this. They're making me do all kind of mess for this. In Fox News, it says, look who's experimenting with marijuana today more than any other age group. Check this out. Check out the age group now. Ages 65 and older are experimenting with marijuana more than any other age group. In the slightly younger, 60 to 64 years old. You wait till you get 60 and 64 years old to start experimenting with drugs? And this new marijuana is like a vegetable crack that's going to get you addicted and you're going to need it. Now they got the elderly on the block won't say nothing when they see something. Got the elderly on the block fiending for drugs and don't want to get the drug dealers in trouble because they won't have a way to go get their drugs. They're playing chess. It's happening right on Sugar Hill. And no matter how you wrap this thing, silence is consent. When you close your mouth and close your eyes, 2 years ago, I started doing things around my home and everybody called me a snitch. They said I was a cop. Not that any of these things bother me, but now everybody getting cameras now. Now everybody getting lights put on their house now. What you think is happening? The intention is to bring the property value down. Now these old folks who tired of living, They get high, they want to party, and they're being used. And y'all so busy having a good time and thinking because I don't bother nobody. That's not gonna cut it because you don't bother nobody. I don't bother nobody. But trouble came to me. Gang came to me. Violence came to me. I don't bother nobody. But I had to deal with it. And that's where we headed. Now, we're almost done. We 30 minutes in. We moving good. Thank you, Almighty God. I was just done. Uh the stuff God is telling me to talk about now scares me because all of the people I thought I had around me are falling off them double crosses. They falling off like flies. So I gotta rely on God, and if He ain't real, oh my goodness, man. But check this out. Forbes magazine says that fear over the job and stock market grows as Fed reports Americans have spent their pandemic savings. See, we thought that pandemic train was going to last forever. So we start buying things. I mean, everybody got a slingshot, two slingshots, four motorcycles, a boat, a car boat, a car motorcycle, a truck boat, a house boat, a boat, and a house on top of the boat with a boat on top of the house and a two-story house with a boat in it. And then we got motorcycle track in the backyard, two fish tanks, a big swimming pool, and we got some other things we bought because we thought that money was going to last forever. But we spent more money than we brought in. Now we're in debt. As a matter of fact, check this out. According to economists, Americans are $1 trillion in credit card debt. So we are literally, I'm scratching all things as I go along. We are literally right back where we started. Literally. And you know what a lack of money causes? Causes people to become desperate. And when you become desperate, then they send a solution into you that's not the best solution, but it's the only one you got. So what's going to happen in South Carolina? The underground drug trade is going to explode again. Yeah, it is, but it's going to be different this time because someone is coming in different this time. They buying up stuff already. They're setting up shop, and you just think it's just so nice. Look, we got the people and the people. Boy, you don't even see what's coming. Y'all don't even see what's coming. But it ain't pretty. And they use ignorant, naive people like our young to usher in the violence, the guns, and the drugs. While we fight that fight, they build an empire, tear down the value of the property, and buy up communities. Who own Westwood? And if you are living in Westwood now that they have modeled the place and you still that same Negro that you were before, and from what I'm understanding, it's the same old thing. Ain't nothing changed. They kick you out. You get your eyes on the country. Want to get to the country. But I don't want to get in a tough area of the country. I want to find a quiet area of the country where old folks live. Because the old folks won't fight back. So you think. So we can do what we want to do. But God is the greatest. Allah is Akbar. Above all the things in this world, God is. Check this out. We're moving along. Talked about the money. Talk about the pandemic. Do y'all know that another strand of COVID is out and is snatching people up a little bit at a time? And Biden and the rest are considering mandating closure of certain things. Did you know that? It's like a walking pneumonia now, but everybody getting it. Now, I waited for somebody to talk about it. Nobody talked about it. I don't know exactly who, what, when, where, why, or how. But there was a break-in at the Simpson Hardware in Sumter. And if you've ever been to that Simpson Hardware, you know the distance from that window in the front all the way to the back is not short. And I personally thought that they had a chain through all of the guns in the back where you would have to. I didn't see anyone cut the chain, or maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they did. But they have on video. People stole 20 long guns. Long guns now that shoot 5.56 and 2.23 bullets. Can penetrate a brick, a stone. 20 long guns. It's all, and then they tried to do it again the next night. I'm gonna talk about that another time because if I say what I want to say right now, I might say too much. Let's talk about the political climate, then we're gonna close. I think I did everything. I said everything that I wanted to say. You know, Biden is in Maui right now, pointing. They're looking it over. They're looking it over. The political season is among us. Whoever has not registered to vote, I have registration forms here. You're welcome to contact me. I actually want to set up somewhere and get people registered to vote very soon. If someone would like to help with that, that would be great. Also, I think on tomorrow or the next day, they're asking for poll workers. You get paid for that, being a poll worker. I think it's tomorrow, it's Wednesday from 3 to 10, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I'll get the information out. But the Democratic Party in South Carolina, in Manning in particular, has failed us. Don't get excited. Just listen to what I'm saying and you'll see it unfold eventually. The Democratic Party has failed us. Black people didn't start out Democrats, we started out Republicans. But because of certain things that went down with us being allowed to join the military and certain other rights, where I think Lyndon B. Johnson and Abe Lincoln, we for our own good, for our own benefit, we matriculated over to Democratic Party. But what has happened with the Democratic Party? Black Democrats, white Democrats already had in motion a certain agenda they wanted. Liberals are dangerous, very dangerous. Being liberal sounds like being free, but too much freedom is dangerous, very dangerous. Laws must be put in place when you are amongst a lawless people, and we are lawless. Anything we can get away with is what we do. But the Democratic Party has found a way to use the Black Democratic Party, the African Americans, the Negroes, have found a way to use their blackness as a weapon against ignorant people. As Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. The cracker said that you ain't black if you don't vote for him. Same cracker, same one that implemented and helped to enforce the 3-strike rule that still have some of our black men in prison. Same cracker whose son was caught with crack cocaine, using government money to pay strippers and selling American secrets, and got off scot-free, no time. Same Democratic Party that runs down on Donald Trump and will spend go, taxpayer dollars for that, but let Joe Biden's son sneak right under the radar. That's the white part. That's the privileged part. But the black Democrats want to be privileged too. So they have no problem selling us down the river for a little bit extra for their family. Look around you. Look around you. See, it's one thing when somebody who you know don't like you does something to you, but when somebody you think is family and likes you is using their family status, blood status, color to trick you, that is warfare. That is a declaration of war. And the minute you speak out against what they do, they call you the problem. But Allah, God is saying that if we don't speak up, the Quran says, surely God does not help a people until they help themselves. So it's these Democratic blacks, politicians. What I talked about, buying up the land, they're doing that. They are a part of what is destroying communities because they just want the money. Slumlords, the whole nine. There's a man that has a trailer behind me. I think he's a doctor now or something. But he'll rent out his trailer, and he comes once a month to check on that trailer. And when he comes and checks on that trailer, if anything has been damaged in a couple of days, y'all got to go. But see, our people are getting positions of power against us. And the power of the vote can help you change that on a local level. Don't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, independent, or what. Find the candidate that says they're going to do something. Keep your eye on them and hold them accountable. Not they buy things they give us stuff. And we love things. But we need all that you can do for all people, not just one group under the table. And see, I become hated for even talking like this. I'm hated for that. Because I got, by God's permission, love and concern for the whole. God is here. And the unfortunate part about God being present with us as a people is the whole book talks about all that God did, but we only choose the part of the book that we feel comfortable in, and we stick with that. Abraham is considered the father of religion. Christ wasn't born yet. So Abraham being the father of religion couldn't have been Christianity. What was it? Total obedience to the will of God. That's what it was. Christ says that I of myself can do nothing but that in which the Father wills that I do, but we give Christ that position of power because Christ has been whitewashed and handed to us as a savior. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. All the prophets and messengers of God do not conflict with each other. God is not the author of confusion. So if we all talking God and we can't get along, then it ain't God. I was asked on 2 different occasions to be the assistant pastor at 2 different churches, major churches here in Manning. But the reason they would not accept me as a student is because I wouldn't stop talking Islam. But Islam gave me a greater insight into God and Bible and Jesus and all of the prophets and messengers of God from the Christian perspective, the Jewish perspective, the Hindu perspective, the Chinese perspective, all of it. This has been Community Candid. I hope that something that I've said has been of value to us. But a horrible game is being played on us. And we must stop voting for people because of the color of their skin or their preference of gender. None of that matters. What matters is that they do. Now, when it comes to the Republican Party, they up to something too. Always have been. They believe they should hold the upper echelon position. And they will let a few of us come through. But if their policies benefit better, who should we lean toward? I don't believe in politics. I just believe it's just like Bloods and Crips. But if I had to choose, it would be conservative. So conservatism. I would be a conservative. I suggest that most of you look into different things other than Democrat and Republican. And if you're going to vote Democrat, vote the Democrat who keeps their word. Vote the Republican who keeps their word and hold their feet to the fire. This hard talk. But we are right back where we started. Pre-pandemic. Right back to the BS. Right back to the foolishness. Right back to the broke. You notice that most people who've been posting up, they bought trucks and cars and businesses. You notice they ain't posting no more? Because they were spending more than they were making. And relying on views and likes and comments as if though that was currency. Well, we right back to the dirt, right back to the grind, right back to the hustle, right back to the wickedness, right back. Didn't even take an hour, 47 minutes and 50 seconds. And I think I covered everything. We have been put to sleep. We have been hypnotized by feelings and emotions. And intelligent people are asleep. And everybody thinks that because they're being quiet, they're a soldier. But God says that silence is consent, means you are just as guilty as the guilty person if you know something and don't say something. There's no young people on this planet that hold to any code. They will shoot you. Remember I told y'all last year that the old will begin to kill the young out of fear of the young being aggressive? Remember what I told you from God. From 10 years of age and up, who's ever big and bad enough to get up in an old person's face, death is one of the options. Either they kill you or you kill them. This is where we are. God is telling me to say things that frighten me, but I got to say it. Otherwise, you think that when it happens, I'm just saying it because it happened. I got to say it before it happens. I'm no exception to it. I'm in an evil world and I'm evil too. But I'm trying to fix some of it. I'm trying to balance out some of it for the next generation. But Satan is winning. Read Thessalonians. This is Satan's world. This is not a game. Our children are possessed by an evil spirit. And as long as their minds and souls accept the evil, you can't pray it away. It ain't going nowhere until we unite, point it out, and then run it away. What happened in closing? Jesus told them, "You are of your father, the devil." He pointed them out. And when Jesus exorcised the demons, they asked him, "Don't kill us, put us into the swine." See, when you pull them out, and sometimes I can see the negative, dark energy around people. That's why I don't like to be around people, especially when they think they're getting over on you. And you can't do or say anything until they manifest themselves. We are in a hell of a time. And you can act like everything is all right if you want to. But this thing, Satan is not playing. And this thing is in motion. And what they want, they'll kill to get it. It's called collateral damage. All right. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope it came out clear. I had all kind of problems with the system today. I even had to get off of I'm gonna have to look into the uh what do you call it? Twitter, because they just cut me off totally. So I thank y'all for tuning in. It's Jamil Salibs of Manning, South Carolina.